Hello everybody, welcome back to Scrappy Adam and welcome to day 9 of Follow a Sketch February. We are on to February the 9th and it is sketch 9, which is a sketch from ST Challenge, I think it says. Not sure what that is. Just a note about that, you can see where all the sketches have come from if you go to the Scrapping Reflections Facebook group, which is linked in the description box down below, along with Sandie's channel and the playlist. If you want to know who created the sketch, you can find out there. Sandie has written it on each sketch. Just click on the photo and the caption has all the deets there for you. So today's sketch is a fun one. We've got a mixed media background, or you could use washi, striped paper, all sorts of possibilities with one photo, some stitching, journaling and a title. Obviously I'm not going to be stitching. I'd love to, I just can't do it. I've tried once and it went very, very bad, so I shan't be doing it. So a bit of a different kind of layout from me today, heritage-y kind of thing, in that we're using an old photo. It's a photo of my mum and her sister in 1961, I think. Or maybe even 1959, I can't remember. It's very old. It doesn't say on the back when it is. It is obviously a reprint. But yeah, it is very old. So that's as close as we get to heritage around here. And I am using an array of products. So let's see what I've got. I've got this frame from Simple Stories, Simple Vintage Ancestry, which is where a lot of the embellishments have come from. And we're going to use that frame in a different kind of way. In terms of paper, what have we got? Because I did these kits quite a while ago. So we've got this paper from Jen Hadfield, Peaceful Heart, and this is Vistas, and it's all of these gorgeous squigglies going from this sort of pink into orange, yellow, brown, green and blue. I love all the colours on this, which is unusual because they're quite pastel. The B side is this grey brown with the birds. We've got Cocoa Vanilla Studio Unforgettable Natural Beauty. Got it for the wood grain. And we have Pink Fresh Studio Happy Blooms Blossom, but we've got it for this side. And finally, we have got Dear Lizzie, A Lovely Day, which is from 2016. So all of these are quite old papers because we've got 2016, we have got 2021, that's not that old though. Unforgettable is 2019, and Peaceful Heart is not that old either, is it? 2021. So they're the papers that I pulled out. Now my thinking is we're going to use the wood grain as our background. We're going to use these two for some layering, and we're going to use this to do some tearing. So let's get into our tearing first. So one option I did toy with was using this as the background, but we would cut out these colours, which is probably the colours I want to use with the photo. So we're going to use the wood grain as our background. We've also got some embellishments from the Ancestry collection. We've got some chipboard stickers, some foam stickers, some brads. We have got a foam title piece. We have got some layered stickers, which are super chunky. We have got a couple of vintage floral camera flare from the Flare Hut. We have got various embellishment pieces from the Ancestry collection. I've also got some tickets from Dear Lizzie. We have also got another camera flare from the Flare Hut and another vintage one. Pink Fresh Studio fabric embellishment, some Maggie Holmes, which, you know, is not my style, but it fits the era, so to speak. We've got an acrylic piece that says Together and a die cut ephemera piece that says Together. Obviously we're not going to use both of them. I don't know which we'll use yet, we shall see. I thought I would put our title as Always Together. My auntie has passed away, sadly. She passed away a number of years ago, which is really sad. I didn't get to know her as much as I would have liked. I think I was 10 or 11 when she passed away. It was, yeah, sad. So I thought the title could be Always Together because my mum and her were very, very close. So don't know which one of them we'll use. We shall see. So that is what we've got. So let's get to tearing some paper. So I am going to roughly follow these lines. I'm not going to be able to follow them exactly, and that's a-okay. So we are going to first off tear off this dark one at the bottom, like so. Then I'm going to tear off the lighter one, but I'm going to do it from this side so that we get the white edge. I do like the white edge, I have to admit. So we're just roughly, and believe me guys, it is very rough, roughly following the line. Where I've got too much white, we can just follow it again and do that. So we've got one piece there. Now let's go for this light one. I don't mind a bit of the other colour being on there. I just predominantly want it to be whatever colour we're focusing on. There we go, turn that around. And then we're going to come back down like so. I don't know whether this idea of mine is going to work or not, but if you don't try, you don't know. So what's the worst that could happen? We waste a piece of paper, and that is something that I can afford to do. So then we're going to go for this yellow. So we're just going to come down like so. As I said, we're following it quite vaguely. I think we'll actually do a bigger one for this and go for the brown as well. Just because they are quite thin lines, and I know that I just wouldn't be able to follow it. So we've got that one as well. Then we shall do a bit of the grey, I think, and then we will add in some of the other colours. There we go. These off-cut pieces will probably end up going in the bin, if I'm honest. We might be able to use one of the birds. I'll leave it there. We'll see how we go when we come to assemble. But it's not the end of the world if we can't. So we're going to come up. Don't think we're going to get any of the blue on, and that's okay. There isn't any blue in the photo anyway. Let's see. Can we get any of the blue on? Okay, we might be able to. Let me get rid of that grey bit there. Let's see if we can get... I do love this colour blue, I have to say. I didn't get this full collection, so this sheet of paper will have come from a kit, or I may have bought it on its own, just because I really did like it. But I kind of struggle with Jen Hadfield collections. I don't know about anybody else. Whilst old Adam will have just got it all, I refrain from doing so in this instance. Okay, so we have torn our paper, so I'm going to cut the branding strips off these two sheets. So branding strips off, and this wood grain has been cut to 11 by 11. Now what I thought we would do, because obviously I'm not going to be adding stitching, because Adam doesn't do stitching, because Adam cannot stitch. And I know you shouldn't say you can't do things, but in all honesty, I really cannot stitch. So I'm happy to just go with that. I'm just checking if there was anything I wanted to say, but I've got another one of these, so it's fine. So in lieu of the stitching, I'm going to add this wood grain to this teal on a bit of a wonk, like so. I know that will drive some people crazy, and that's okay, but that's how we're doing it. Then we're going to go from the blue to the grey to the sort of mustardy to the brown to the beige to the pink, left to right. And what we're going to do is sort of tear them all the way down so they are different lengths. And then we're going to add them to our page. I am going to add one of the birds, I think. I keep making decisions and then changing my mind. Does anybody else do that when you're scrapbooking? I do have a habit of doing that, but I think we will add it. It gives us a little bit of variety. I know the birds are the wrong way round, but there's nothing I can do because that's the shape of the paper. That's the way the paper goes. So it is what it is, guys. And we're just going to roll with it. I am going to overlap some of them, and we're not going to overlap some of them, and some of them will be shorter, some of them will be longer. It's all about mixing it up, and that is a-okay as well. This one I'm going to do shorter, because this one is a little bit fatter, so why not? Then we've got a super duper thin one. That's just the way it fell. And then once they're all on, we're going to texturize them. Another new word for us. Well, I don't know actually. Is that a word? I can't remember. I don't know. Maybe it is a word. I'm just rambling on whilst I do some texturizing. So we're going to add those on like so. There we go. So it's very random. It's very haphazard. It's very distressed, if you can call it that. Or some might say it looks an absolute mess, and that's okay. That's okay. I'm not saying it's going to turn out to be my favourite layout, but it's using products that I potentially wouldn't ordinarily A, have put together, or B, chosen to use, because had I not been doing this sketch, I wouldn't have been diving into that paper pile, and so on and so forth. So we're stash diving, we're using up stash so we can get new stash, we're using up product so we're not hoarding it, and we're documenting memories and photos. And I'm glad to do this photo because I don't do photos of my mum or my past or things like that. It's complicated, a lot's gone on, and I just don't do it much. So it's good to do it when I can. I'm just ruffling and scrumpling, that word again, I swear it's been in every video. Scrumpling up the edges where we need to, quite randomly and haphazard like the rest of the layout, and that's okay with me. So we're just going along, doing that like so, and that is what we are left with. Quite a old sort of texturized look, but hopefully you can see the inspiration has come from the sketch because we've got these strips. So I'm just showing that it doesn't have to be mixed media, it can be an array of different things. Now what I'm gonna do is use this banner piece that is from Pink Fresh Studio. Can't remember which collection, but I know it's Pink Fresh Studio. It's one of their fabric embellishments. That's going to go up there, and that recognises. That is for this piece of the sketch. And I wanted to make sure I included that. I've lined that up with our last one. Now we still have this paper. I don't know whether to back the frame or not. So what we'll do is we will cut out a bit of the paper. So let's do we shall do 7.5 by 6.5, 7.5 by 6.5, and I will be right back. So I've cut that paper out and I don't like it, if I'm totally honest. I don't know what you guys think, I just don't think it goes, so we're getting rid. So that will go back in the scraps. So let's get out this frame. It's quite a big frame, but the photo is quite big. So the photo is 7 by 5. So this frame would fit a 7 by 5 photo, but it's actually for 3 photos. So what I thought I would do is I would add it at a little bit of an angle like we've got on the sketch. It's only a slight angle. And I quite like the idea of then popping the photo atop of it, sort of like this. So that is my idea. So what we're going to do is we're going to put some tape adhesive along here, 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 and here. And then I am going to simply place it on top of there, like so. So that is what we're going to do with the frame. Now, I will get some fun foam, and of course it's fun because it's got adhesive on one side. So let's pop a bit of that there, and then let's pop a bit into the other two parts. That's just going to raise it up to the level of the frame and just make sure that we're not putting any pressure on our photo. There we go, and I'll put just a little piece there as well. Then let's get some adhesive going on and get this stuck down. So it's a different kind of layout from me today. As I said, I can't remember ever doing a heritagey, vintagey, old photo before. But it's good to give things a try. So that is going on there. It is a bigger photo than the sketch, and that is a-okay. That is a-okay. So in terms of the rest of the layout, on the sketch we've got some splatters going on here, and I do want to remember to put splatters on this layout. I did forget on the last layout, but I think I want to replicate the colours here, so mustn't forget that. Please remind me. We've got journaling down here. I'm probably going to replace that with some embellishments, and we've got a title going on here. Outside of that, I'll probably go off-piste a little bit because we've got quite a lot of empty space in our photo. So I am going to utilise that for some embellishing, because why not? First up, we're going to have a couple of these Maggie Holmes florals, I think, because it's probably the only kind of layout where I will use them, if I'm honest. I will add a little space for a bit of journaling, because I think it's important to add a bit of journaling to this layout for the reasons I said before. So let's add that down here before we start adding loads. We've got a little foam sticker going on there. Then our title, so we've got Together and Always. So do we think black works? It's obviously black and white photo, or is that a bit too stark? Or do we think that I don't like those two together, so I'm going to go for black. So let's pull off this Always. Wax paper is such a fantastic idea, which I got from Janet over at RTS Scrapbooking, and I have absolutely loved using it during building these kits, and it has meant being able to pull out stickers and titles and thickers and all sorts of goodies without having to take the sticky off or stick them down and not be able to get them up. So I've really enjoyed using it, and it's so cheap. I just bought a big roll of it. I did initially try, I think it was baking paper or something that looked like it, and it just didn't work. So it does have to be proper wax paper, but it works really well, and I would highly recommend it if you do make kits or want to give it a go. Rolls is great because you can just cut to your desired length. So we're going to add a couple of these vintage floral camera flare, which I love. They are not a flare that I would ordinarily use, but this seems like the perfect opportunity to use that design. So why not? We're just going to tuck a couple in. Don't think we'll use this other one. Kind of goes against the vibe of the layout. But I have to say, I am loving this layout. Completely different for me, and I think that's why I love it. Okay, let's pull in some other bits and bobs, shall we? So we've got this, which I think I'm going to cut in half and use this half and pop that down here. It's just like a bit of camera detail, which I am loving. In fact, I'm going to pop that hidden into the paper. We can keep the other half. I'm not going to use these tickets. Again, different kind of vibe I'm feeling. So let's pop them over here to go in our pot that I've talked about before. We have got this sister tag, which I feel like would be good to use. So let's see if we can get that in maybe there. And I will just chop off the top of that, just to be able to tuck that in. There we go, we only need a little bit of that showing. We have got this clock layered piece that says memories, which I'm going to pop in up here. And this chipboard piece, which is like a old reel and an old vintage photo, which I love. So I am going to use that and tuck that in down here and add atop of that some of these hearts. And finally, let's use these two brads. Let's not put these brads back. So we've got one that says heritage, one that is just a camera with that teal, and one that says photos. And then just to finish us off, I'm going to add these foam stickers, which are just hearts. I feel like you can use heart stickers on anything. So let's add those in across the layout. Finishing off with a couple of butterflies up here. I am one that doesn't mind using butterflies, I have to say. I am going to keep these embellishments, and that is fine as well. So let's do some splatters to finish us off, and I think that's another layout done. So we're going to finish off with some shimmers, paints in, we've got Seize the Day vibes and Taupe of the Morning in vibes as well. So we've got a teal and a grey. I'm just going to use this to protect the desk a little bit, and this other sheet to protect the photo a bit. I don't mind it getting on the embellishment, so I'm going to use a bit of the grey initially. I'm just going to come on like so, just to sort of finish it off and give it a bit of extra interest. Why not? So that is the grey. And then the teal, just to bring in some of that gorgeous teal from our border paper. So that is that side. I've kind of gone opposite to the sketch on that front, but that's okay. We've kind of gone our own way on that. And then I'm just going to place that there and do the same down here. Oh, actually, we haven't gone opposite, have we? We've done it on the right side for once. There we go. But it's all about putting your own spin on it, and that's definitely what I am doing for Follow the Sketch February. We are taking inspiration, using up our product and having some scrappy fun. Kicking off scrappy season, good and proper. Just enjoying it, which is what it's all about. So that is our splatters done. So let's remind ourselves where we started. We started with this sketch, which was day 9, and this is where we have ended up. I actually really like it, and it's a completely different style to what I would normally go for, but I am really pleased with it. Hope you guys like it. Don't forget to check out the description box for all the deets for Facebook group, playlist, Sandie's channel, Sandie's shop, and every other link that you may need or want. I will see you tomorrow for day 10. How are we on day 10 already? And tomorrow is a 2-4 with a other YouTube hop as well. So we're looking forward to celebrating friends in February for that. Have a happy scrappy day, and I will see you tomorrow. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.